Hey, what's up everyone and welcome to TicketsBasket. Today we are in a new session, a new part of this project. Somehow in the previous video we have talked about calculate the difference between two dates, and the session before we have implemented the completing the create a profile, and one of the requirements for completing the creation of a profile is basically to upload a picture. And uploading a picture is just a little part of other documents and unstructured data that's going to be available within other systems, like the pictures, the CVs of the job applications and other stuff. So in this section we are going to introduce Azure Blob Storage, what it is basically, and how to get started with it locally on your machine and on Azure as well. And because of the next session we will start implementing the Blob Storage service from our application. So let's basically get started to talk about Azure Blob Storage. Azure Blob Storage is one of the services that Azure Storage Account provides for you. And because Azure Storage has many services like the Azure Table, Azure Queues, and Azure Blob, Azure Files. So Blob is one of them. Basically what it is a cloud service, and it provides you with all the infrastructure you need to store massive amount of unstructured data at scale. So what does this mean? Azure Storage Account gives you about 500 terabytes of data and storage. So this is a very, very massive amount. This is number one. Number two, it's structured to basically store, as we have said, massive amounts. So in this case, you don't worry about the performance, you don't worry about the availability. It's very, very secure, and they provide us with a very secure mechanism to protect your data and to to give policies to access this data in a very easy way, and all other stuff. And especially if you are store any type of unstructured data, I mean by that audio files, binary files, pictures, videos, whatever. Even if you are building video platforms or music streaming apps or whatever, Azure Blob Storage is just a perfect solution. And in addition for all of that, it has an SDK that basically available for almost all the programming languages to upload and download data, secure data and whatever, and to deal with the structure of the Azure Blob Storage, like creating containers and whatever. So this is a very brief introduction for this one. Right now we are going to see how you can get started dealing with Azure Storage, Azure Blob Storage basically. You have two ways. First one, if you are on the cloud, so basically you need to have a Azure Storage, Azure subscription, and you need to go ahead and create an Azure Storage account. We are going to do this in a bit. And if you are locally and specifically only on Windows, you have the option to install the Windows Storage Emulator, so you can have all your development isolated from the cloud. It's basically a simulator for the Azure Storage available locally in your machine, and you need the application Azure Storage Explorer. It's available, this one, for cross platforms, Linux and Mac OS, in addition to Windows. So this one allows you to manage your Azure Storage account either on the emulator or if it's available on the cloud. So right now, let's first take a look at both and to see how Azure Blob Storage looks like in action. So I'm going to move to Azure first to get started on the cloud. If you are following on Mac, you don't have the option to install the emulator, so you have to get started directly on the cloud. So this is the homepage of my Azure subscription. I'm going to get into the storage accounts, or let's start from here. We can go back to the homepage, click on create a resource, and you can search here for storage account, or you can find it here in the most popular, because it's one of the most popular services. Let's just choose storage account, choose your subscription, and for the resource group, I'm going to call this one TicketsBasket RG. Okay. Now let's give it a name, and again I will call it TicketsBasket Storage Account. Okay, this is too long. Okay, storage, this is enough. Now for the location, okay, I prefer to leave it in the STUS. Now for the performance, you have standard and premium. Standard is very good for our situation. Storage V2, of course, we are going to go for the latest version of this. And for our data, it should be replicated or no. We don't need that, so we are going to make it local redundant. And you can click on review, create. And regarding the cost of Azure Blob Storage, it's basically very cheap. The Azure Storage Account, as I've said, it stores up to 500 terabytes of data, and for the Azure Blob Storage, I think the cost is about almost or about 1 cent for each gigabyte. This is in the cool tier, because Azure Blob Storage provides you with 3 layers or 3 tiers. The first one called the hot tier, the cool tier, and the archive tier. The hot tier store your data and it's for the data you basically you have access to usually and frequently. For the data that you access from time to time, you put them in the cool tier, and for the data that you access rarely, you put them in the archive tier. So the cost is different from one to other, but in average, it's about 1 cent per gigabyte. So it's almost very cheap. You are going to pay when you have massive amount of data, like your data entered in the terabytes, but it's still very affordable. So we can click go to resource, and this is our storage account. Then initialization getting started was very easy. So our concept and main consideration is going to be Azure Blob. So you can go here to containers, or from here you can go to Blob service, and let's open containers. So basically containers is the data stored in the Azure Blob there is no folder structures, as you can see in your Windows. Here there is containers, and each containers contains flat blobs. I mean a blob like a binary file or whatever. So let's go ahead and create container, and for this container I'm going to call it users. So basically it's going to store, for now, all the profile pictures and this stuff for now. So here you choose the public access level. This is one of my best features of the Azure Storage, because securing the access or managing the access to blob files or binary data is not that easy, while Azure Blob Storage provides you with a very easy mechanism to do so. So you can you can secure all the container with all the data inside or all the binaries, or you can make the secure available on the level of each blob or on the level of the full container. You can make it the full container public or blob, each blob, but the users don't have access for the full container. Basically what we want, because this will contain the profile pictures, and the profile pictures is public, so I'm going to make it read access for the full container and blob. We will see how we are going to secure this when we are dealing with other type of attachments. And this is our container. If we open it, as you can see, you can here upload a picture or any file. Okay, so let's choose, you can choose anything basically from here. I'm going to choose this picture and I click upload. So it is basically that easy to getting started with Azure Blob Storage, and we will, in the next session, we will start dealing with the SDK from the C# and uploading, downloading blobs and this stuff. This is a very easy process, and you can also change the access level from here, refresh the data and whatever, and many other features available. But for our course, this is what we need to talk about. Let's delete this so we keep the production environment clear. And okay, so this is great. Now this is talking about the cloud side. If you are following on Mac or Linux, then you can, this is what you have to do. But if you are on Windows, you need to install the Windows Storage Emulator and the Azure Storage Explorer. You can also manage all your storage accounts from the Azure Storage Explorer. So let's first run the Windows Storage Emulator. Okay, it's called Storage, yeah, Microsoft Azure Storage Emulator. So once you run it, okay, right now we have it available, so it's running in the background. Now we can go ahead and open Azure Storage Explorer. This app is very cool, and it's cross-platform that allows you to manage, as I've said, all your Azure Storage accounts locally or in any accounts you can. You can click here and add all your Azure accounts, and here you can have access for all your subscriptions, as you can see. And to get started locally, what you have to do is basically you can click on add a new connection, and all you have to do is click attach to a local emulator, click next. You can give it a name. I've called it Emulator, so you can call it whatever you want, and there is no need to change any of this data. Just click next and connect, and you are just ready to go. It is very, very, very simple process. I am already have done that. So if you look on the local and attached, open storage accounts. So here you can see this is our Emulator storage account. Let's open that. So here we go. We have our blob containers, queues, and tables. If you open the blob containers, you can have access for all the blob, and you can create a new one. Let's say users. So great, this is our blob. Now we can upload, and we can, of course, manage the access level and all other stuff. And here we have access for the URL, and we have, if you click on the storage account, you have access for the connection string. So start dealing with this one from the C# application is going to be very easy. For installing the Microsoft Storage Emulator and the Storage Explorer, I'm going to provide the links in the description below. So this is everything for this session. Starting from the next one, we are going to create the service from the API side or the server side to start dealing with all this, upload, download, and secure, and all this stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and thank you so much for watching. In the next one, as I've said, we are going to proceed with more and more and getting deeper in this topic. So thanks again. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and share. See you in the next video.